What if I told you that success doesn't take time? It takes timing. And most people confuse the two their entire lives. They think if they just wait long enough, work hard enough, put in enough years, success will eventually show up like a package they ordered. But that's not how it works. Success isn't on the other side of time. It's on the other side of readiness. You can spend 20 years preparing and never be ready, or you can spend 2 years becoming who you need to be and have everything shift overnight. The person who suddenly becomes successful after 10 years isn't successful because of the 10 years. They're successful because somewhere in those 10 years, they became someone capable of holding success. Time passed, but transformation happened, and most people only do the first part. This video will expose the lie that's keeping you stuck, the belief that time automatically equals progress. Most people think success is a function of duration. Just put in enough years and you'll get there. But the truth is brutal. You can spend a decade repeating year one, never actually growing, just aging in place. We're going to explore what time is actually for, why overnight success is a complete misunderstanding, the difference between time passing and transformation happening, and how to make sure you're evolving, not just enduring. This isn't about patience, it's about direction. Time won't save you, but what you do with time will. Let me give you a picture that's going to make everything clear. Imagine two people decide they're going to run a marathon. Both of them make this decision on the same day. January 1st, new year, new goal, right? And they both say, I'm going to train for 6 months, and then I'm going to run this marathon in July. Same timeline, same goal. Both committed. Now let's call them Sarah and Mike. Sarah starts running every single day. She's dedicated, she's consistent. She laces up her shoes every morning, hits the pavement, puts in her miles, day after day after day, rain or shine. She's doing the work. She's putting in the time. And when July comes around, she shows up to that marathon. She's been running for 6 months straight, never missed a day. She's earned this, right? But here's what happens. By mile 8, she's in agony. By mile 13, she's questioning everything. By mile 18, she's done. She can't finish. She has to drop out. And she's devastated because she did everything she was supposed to do. She put in the time, 6 months, every single day. So what went wrong? Now let's look at Mike. Mike also starts training in January. But Mike does something different. He doesn't just run, he gets a training plan, he studies marathon preparation, he learns about pace zones, about progressive overload, about the difference between easy runs and tempo runs and long runs. He tracks his heart rate. He pays attention to his form. He takes rest days strategically because he learns that rest is when your body actually gets stronger. He adjusts his nutrition. He gets proper shoes. He doesn't just run, he trains with intention. And some weeks, Sarah actually runs more miles than Mike. She's out there every day grinding. Mike takes days off. But when July comes and they both show up to that starting line, something's different. Mike finishes. Not just finishes, he feels strong. Because Mike didn't just put in 6 months of time. He put in 6 months of evolution. 6 months of becoming a marathon runner. Do you see the difference? Sarah spent 6 months running. Mike spent 6 months becoming a runner. Time passed for both of them. The exact same amount of time, but only one of them transformed. Sarah was repeating. Day after day, same thing. No progression, no adjustment, no growth, just time. Just showing up, just grinding. And when the actual test came, all that time didn't matter because she hadn't used it to evolve. She'd used it to stay busy. And this is what most people get wrong about success. They think it's about duration. They think, if I just do this long enough, if I just stay consistent long enough, eventually I'll get the result. But that's not how it works. You can be consistent in the wrong direction. You can be dedicated to a process that doesn't transform you. You can put in 10,000 hours and still not be excellent because you spent 10,000 hours repeating hour one. I see this all the time in my work with entrepreneurs. Someone will come to me and say, Tony, I've been working on this business for 5 years. 5 years. And I'm still not where I want to be. Why isn't it working? And I ask them, okay, tell me what you've learned in these 5 years. What's different about how you operate now versus year one? And they look at me like it's a trick question. And then they start talking about all the things they've done, all the hours they've worked, all the effort they've put in. But they can't tell me who they've become. They can't identify how they've evolved. Because they haven't. They've just been busy. They've been grinding. They've been putting in time. But they haven't been transforming. And here's the brutal truth. You can spend 20 years building a business and never become a business owner. You can spend a decade in a relationship and never become a partner. You can work for 30 years and never become a professional. Because you're confusing activity with evolution. You're confusing time with transformation. And time doesn't care. Time is neutral. Time will give you space to become everything you're meant to be. Or it will give you space to repeat the same patterns until you die. Your choice. I remember my early years trying to make it. I was working insane hours. I mean, insane. 18, 20 hours a day sometimes. And I told myself, I'm paying my dues. I'm putting in the work. I'm doing what it takes. And I was. I was working harder than almost everyone around me. But here's what I didn't realize for way too long. I was busy, but I wasn't productive. I was active, but I wasn't progressing. I was doing a lot, but I wasn't becoming different. I was like Sarah running the same route every single day, putting in miles, putting in time, but not actually training for the marathon. And then I had a mentor who stopped me one day and said, Tony, you're working 18 hours a day. What are you producing in those 18 hours? And I started listing all my activities. I'm making calls, I'm in meetings, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. And he said, that's not what I asked. I asked what you're producing. What's different because of those 18 hours? What's better? What's grown? And I didn't have a good answer. Because I'd been measuring effort, not results. I'd been measuring time, not transformation. And that question changed everything for me. From that day forward, I stopped asking, how much time am I putting in? And I started asking, who am I becoming while I'm putting in this time? Am I the same person I was last month, just busier? Or am I actually different? Have I developed new skills, new capacities, new ways of thinking? Have I evolved? Because if I haven't, then all this time is just time. It's not building anything. Let me give you another way to understand this, and this is going to blow your mind if you really let it land. You know how compound interest works financially, right? You put a little bit of money in an account, and it earns interest, and then that interest earns interest, and over time, it compounds. And what seemed like small, insignificant amounts early on become massive amounts later. But here's the key. It takes time. In year one, you might put in $1,000 and earn $50 in interest. Not exciting. In year two, you add another 1,000, earn a little more interest. Still not exciting. Year three, year four, year five, you're putting in money, you're earning interest, but it doesn't feel like much is happening. And a lot of people quit right here. They say, I've been doing this for 5 years and I don't have much to show for it. But then, year 7, year 10, year 15, suddenly the numbers explode. The compound interest kicks in at a level where you can actually feel it. And people look at you in year 15 and say, wow, you got so lucky. Look how much money you have. But they didn't see year 2. They didn't see year 5. They didn't see the boring middle where you were making deposits and nothing seemed to be happening. Your identity works the exact same way. Every single day you make a choice that's either a deposit or a withdrawal in who you're becoming. Every time you do what you said you were going to do, that's a deposit. Every time you push through when it's hard, that's a deposit. Every time you choose growth over comfort, that's a deposit. And at first, it doesn't look like anything. You're still struggling. You're still facing obstacles. You're still not where you want to be. And your brain is screaming, this isn't working. Nothing's changing. I've been at this for 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, and I'm basically the same person. But you're not. You're compounding. Those deposits are building. The person you're becoming is forming underneath the surface, where you can't see it yet. And then one day, and it really does feel like one day, everything shifts. Suddenly, opportunities appear. Suddenly, people want to work with you. Suddenly, things that used to be hard are easy. Suddenly, the success you've been chasing shows up. And everyone calls it overnight success. But you know different. You know it wasn't overnight. You know it was the compound interest of 5 years, 7 years, 10 years, of daily deposits finally reaching critical mass. This is the bamboo principle. A bamboo tree, when you plant it, spends 5 years growing underground. 5 years where you see nothing. You're watering this patch of dirt. You're caring for something invisible. And if you didn't know how bamboo works, you'd think you failed. You'd think nothing's happening. You'd give up. But underneath, the bamboo is building a root system, a massive, complex, powerful root system that can support rapid growth. And then in year 5, it breaks the surface. And in 6 weeks, it grows 90 feet. 90 feet in 6 weeks. And people look at that and say, wow, that bamboo grew so fast? No, that bamboo grew for 5 years. You just couldn't see it. Your success is the same. The years you think you're wasting, you're building roots. The seasons where nothing visible is happening, you're developing infrastructure. The time when it feels like everyone else is passing you by, you're going deep while they're staying shallow. And when your bamboo breaks the surface, when your compound interest kicks in, when your marathon training pays off, it will look sudden to everyone else. But you'll know. You'll know it was time well used. Not just time that passed. But here's the part that breaks my heart. Most people quit in year 3 or 4, right before the breakthrough, right before the roots are strong enough, right before the compound interest would have kicked in. They quit because they misunderstood what time was for. They thought time was supposed to deliver results. They thought if they just showed up long enough, success would show up too. But time doesn't deliver results. Transformation delivers results. And transformation takes however long it takes for you to actually change. I want you to think about the last year of your life. Really think about it. 12 months ago to today. Now, ask yourself this question and be brutally honest. Are you different? Not busier. Not older. Different. Have you developed new capacities, new skills, new ways of being? Or are you basically the same person you were a year ago, just with 12 more months of experience doing the same things? Because if it's the latter, you're not using time. Time is using you. You're aging but not evolving. You're accumulating years but not growth. And I'm not saying this to make you feel bad. I'm saying this because it's urgent. Because time is the one resource you cannot get back. And if you're spending it repeating instead of evolving, you're not just wasting time, you're wasting your life. Every day that passes where you're the same person you were yesterday is a day you'll never get back. And I know that sounds harsh, but it's true. And the truth is, what sets you free? So how do you make sure you're evolving and not just enduring? How do you make sure time is working for you instead of just passing by you? Here's what you do. Every single Sunday, I want you to spend 10 minutes doing what I call the weekly evolution audit. Get out a piece of paper or open a note on your phone and ask yourself one question. Who was I at the start of this week and who am I now? And then write down one way you're different. One way you've grown. Maybe you were more disciplined this week. Maybe you had a hard conversation you used to avoid. Maybe you learned something new. Maybe you did something that scared you. Whatever it is, identify it. Name it. Celebrate it. And here's the critical part. If you can't identify anything, if you look at that week and realize you're exactly the same person you were 7 days ago, that's your alarm. That's your signal that you're repeating, not evolving. And you need to adjust immediately, because if you can't find growth in a week, you won't find it in a month. And if you don't find it in a month, you won't find it in a year. And years become decades, become a life that never transformed. Second thing, every single day, I want you to make what I call an identity investment. You need to choose one identity you're building. I'm someone who follows through. I'm someone who shows up even when it's hard. I'm someone who tells the truth. I'm someone who takes care of their body. Whatever it is, choose one. And then make one choice today. Doesn't need to be big, just needs to be real. That proves it. If you're building the identity of someone who follows through, do the thing you said you were going to do even though you don't feel like it. If you're building the identity of someone who's disciplined, do the hard thing first today. It doesn't matter how small the action is. What matters is the deposit. Because you're not just doing something, you're becoming someone. And that compounds. And then once a month, do what I call a root system check. Sit down and list 3 capabilities you've developed in the past 30 days. 3 skills, 3 emotional capacities, 3 pieces of knowledge, 3 somethings that you couldn't do or didn't have 30 days ago. And if you can't list 3, You're not building roots. You're not preparing for your 90-foot growth. You're just waiting. And waiting doesn't work. The bamboo doesn't just wait underground for 5 years. It's actively building, actively growing, actively preparing. You need to be doing the same. Here's what I need you to understand as we bring this home. Success absolutely takes time. Anyone who tells you otherwise is lying to you or trying to sell you something. But it doesn't take time the way you think. It doesn't take time like a prison sentence where you just sit there and eventually you're released. It takes time like a tree takes time. Active time, developmental time, transformational time. Time where something fundamental is changing beneath the surface, even when you can't see it yet. And the people who make it, the people who actually build the lives they want, the people who achieve the success they're after, they're not the ones who waited the longest. They're not the ones who were the most patient. They're the ones who used time to transform. They built the root system. They made the daily deposits. They evolved while everyone else was just enduring. They became capable of holding what they were asking for. And when the moment arrived, when the opportunity showed up, when the bamboo broke the surface, they were ready. Not because time passed, but because they changed. So here's your new truth. Say it with me right now. Out loud if you can. I am not waiting for time to pass. I am using time to transform. Every day I'm not where I want to be as a day I'm becoming who I need to be. I'm not behind, I'm building foundations. Say it again. I am not waiting for time to pass. I am using time to transform. Every day I'm not where I want to be is a day I'm becoming who I need to be. I'm not behind, I'm building foundations. If something shifted in you during this, if you felt that click of recognition, if you realized you've been confusing time with transformation, I want to hear from you. Drop a comment below and tell me, what are you building underground right now that no one can see yet? What roots are you developing? What identity are you compounding? Name it. Put it out there. Celebrate the invisible work. Because that work is everything. That work is what makes the 90-foot growth possible. And if you're ready for more content that doesn't just inspire you for a moment, but actually equips you with the understanding you need to win, hit that subscribe button. Not for me, for you. Because you deserve to be surrounded by truth that challenges you to evolve, not just content that makes you feel good about staying the same. You're not late, you're not behind, you're not running out of time, but you're at a choice point. You can keep confusing time with progress. Keep waiting for success to show up just because you've been around long enough. Keep repeating year one over and over while wondering why nothing changes. Or you can start using time the way it's meant to be used, as space for transformation, as opportunity for evolution, as the raw material for becoming someone capable of everything you're asking for. Time is passing either way. The question is, what are you becoming while it passes? Are you Sarah running the same route every day, putting in miles but not actually training? Or are you Mike, using every run to get better, to learn, to evolve, to become ready for the marathon? Are you just aging or are you growing? Are you accumulating years or are you accumulating wisdom, skill, capacity, character? The choice is yours. It's always been yours. And it's available to you right now, not tomorrow, not when conditions are perfect, not when you have more time, right now, this moment. Who are you becoming? What deposit are you making? What's growing underground that the world can't see yet but you know is there? Because I promise you, if you shift this one thing, if you stop measuring time and start measuring transformation, if you stop counting years and start counting evolution, if you stop waiting and start building, everything changes. Your success isn't on the other side of 10 more years. It's on the other side of becoming someone who's ready. And you can do that in 2 years if you're intentional. Or you can spend 20 years and never get there if you're just passing time. You're right on time. But only if you're evolving. Now go build those roots. Go make those deposits. Go become the person who's ready for everything you're asking for. And watch what happens when time becomes your ally instead of your excuse. Everything you want is waiting for you to become ready for it. So become ready. Starting today, starting right now. Right.